What's up, guys? It's Tyranitar and welcome back to freaking analysis on the latest BDSP and Legends Arceus trailer. So when it comes to BDSP, obviously there isn't too much, but we're gonna talk about the new things. We start with BDSP. Okay, so the first thing in BDSP is just an acknowledgement that the places look so nice. I'm just gonna give the Chibis its credit. We don't want the Chibis over freaking Sword and Shield stuff, but at least as Chibis, the stuff looks nice and clean and colorful. You gotta admit it. Even this place here feels like a lot of fun walking around here. Let me go get that Pokeball right there. You know, it looks clean. Now here's something you might not have seen in the trailer. You want to see this? Boom. Spear Pillar. Spear Pillar just entering and chilling. Spear Pillar introduced that kind of 3D feel when you're walking through it and the pillars were changing on the DS. Now we got Spear Pillar back. It looks kind of nice. I mean, this is all we can see, but it's nice to see a little bit of Spear Pillar. I'm sorry, but this is what's going to excite you at this current moment. We don't have much to go on. Next thing is the Poketch. So you get the Poketch at the same part of the game. People are speculating, oh, will we maybe not get the Poketch? What a peak thing to be commenting about. It turns out you get the Poketch, and the Poketch, which is your bottom screen, actually stays on the screen in the top. So here we go. Here we're walking around and we're using this item finder, and the crap is gonna stay in the top right part of the screen, like it's got no life. I mean, you always wondered how would they incorporate their being the bottom screen, and also when you have to find Mesprit and Cresselia, they be changing all over the bottom screen. It seems like you have the option to just throw your Pokewatch in the top right. Feels like a weird YouTube layout crap where I just throw my face cam up there. You'd think they'd have some weird border that makes it look clean, but it's a solution. Bottom screen right up there. Segueing in, the next thing shown in the trailer is hidden moves. You can see we got the bottom screen pulled up, handy dandy, and it's got all of our hidden machines: cut, fly, surf, and it's even got rock climb. So it seems like when you need to use an HM, you plop up your bottom screen and you use the HM. Obviously there's going to be a way to turn that crap off. That crap is not going to stay there forever. We've seen gameplay where it's not there, but that's how you use HM. So it's like Let's Go. You don't got to force it onto your Pokemon, which I didn't have a problem with. Yeah, it makes the game more annoying to have the freaking HMs you have to teach to your Pokemon. But funny enough, they still show Babarrel as the HM slave in this.
Bruh. Bruh.
You know, maybe you do have to teach your Pokemon HMs, but this is just like a quick shortcut. Honestly, you don't even need this bottom screen crap pulled up. I think it just lets you know what HMs you have if you need to see. But I'm pretty sure you could just go to the rocks and use rock climb. Remember, guys, Bidoof looks like it's having a lot of fun. Zoom in on that Bidoof. Next thing they showed is making Poffins. Seems nice. We can make Poffins with all their favorite Pokemon. And then they even showed us this thing where you can go to the Amity Square and you can walk with your Pokemon, which was them following Pokemon teasing you in Diamond and Pearl. They did it again here, but except what they're teasing is all of our Pokemon following us. Not that necessarily we want this feature, but it's like a slap in the face to show us how much they can do with Pokemon. Like, with these Pokemon following us around everywhere, and that they just cuck us and give us like the bare minimum in a lot of stuff. Like, for example, in Sword and Shield, it was not that hard to make Pokemon follow us. They already perfected it in Let's Go, but they waited till the Isle of Armor to kind of give it to us. And then even here, like, this is a concept and a system that they've already perfected, Pokemon following us. This is cool. This is a cool feature, having your whole team around you. Obviously, we don't know if there's the full decks in these games, but let's just pretend there is. We'd have like Tyranitar or freaking Palkia and all these Pokemon surrounding us. It'd be kind of cool. Okay, and then they showed us some characters. Here we got Riley, who has the Lucario in the games. You know, you got this pendant. Reminds me of like the Primals and Auras, but obviously has nothing to do with that. Leave that concept alone. Then we got little bobblehead Gardenia. She looks fine. And then, of course, Cheryl over here. But it's, like, so funny in the trailers when they're like, who's Riley, this mysterious trainer? Cheryl. She's gonna hold your hand through that one forest. Like, why are you showing these characters? Like, it reminds me when they introduced Lillian, was like the professor's mysterious assistant. But at least she was a mystery at the time. This girl is not a mystery right now. So one other thing I wanted to point out in these games is that when it comes to like the models that they're already using, for example in Sword and Shield, they look so much more vibrant and cleaner in these games. And you can see the way the background is blurred and all. I just feel like this battle screen looks really clean. And this needs to be used moving forward. And this is it. That's everything for BDSP. You're excited. Stop saying that. Now let's go to Legends Arceus. Okay, so the biggest thing in Legends Arceus, we're on their site right now, is this man right here. Kleavor, a new Pokemon. On first sight, when I look at him, I think of like Aerodactyl and some weird Gen 1 vibes. Like, he legit looked like a Gen 1 Pokemon. He's not simple like a Gen 1 Pokemon, but there's something with the way its eyes look and the way its form is that just feels Gen 1. Like, even these slim-ass legs, we never get slim legs like this. Well, do I have news for you that isn't evident when you watch the trailer initially? Okay, well, first check this out, bro. You can dress up as a Hisuian Growlithe. Why she look kinda cool in these clothes? Let's read what they got on their site. Frenzied noble Pokemon. A strange phenomenon is causing nobos to suddenly fly into a frenzy, making them incredibly difficult to rein in. As part of the Survey Corps, you'll be called upon to quell the frenzies of the nobos. I don't know what this means. It has a picture of Kleavor shown here. Maybe Kleavor is this noble Pokemon. And then we got all these new people introduced. These guys are all these special characters that exist in the region, kind of filling the slot of gym leaders, though we don't know if they can fight. We got Mai here. She has the Werdier, whatever you call it, the Stantler evolution. Maybe she's what gives you the Stantler to use as a ride Pokemon. Maybe she's like the first arc, and after you complete the crap, you get Stantler, now you can ride. And as you saw in the trailer, using Stantler, you can use Stantler to jump over cliffs. So maybe you can get to new areas. You can jump over gaps with it. Then there's Lian. He cares for Kleavor, which is the new Pokemon. I don't know if Kleavor is going to be a ride Pokemon. I don't see Kleavor being a ride Pokemon. Maybe Kleavor can knock out like rocks in the way. So maybe after you deal with his arc, you get his Kleavor. Maybe when they say the Nobos Pokemons are all corrupt and all, maybe they're talking about each of these noble dudes. They have a Pokemon, you gotta calm it down. For him, it's Kleavor. Third, we got Iskin, and he's the one who has the Basque Legion. And then we got Erzu. She's tasked with the care of a certain lady Pokemon. Who knows what that means? Is it a Jinx? What is a lady Pokemon? She has this look she gives me in her character model, and she got some stylish 20,000 BC pants. But anyhow, these are the wordings. So when they say a strange phenomenon is causing nobles to suddenly fly up into frenzy, maybe they mean these Pokemon that these nobles take care of. These special Pokemon. The Werdier, the Kleavor, which we'll talk about in a second, the Basque Legion, and then maybe someone's got a Hisuian Arcanine, and then we'll see as the list goes on. Obviously, one of them should be Braviary. Kleavor, Lord of the Woods. He really do look like you befriend him, and you can break off rocks and enter new areas. I don't know why they chose this as the picture, but this is the trainer dodging Kleavor's attacks. Like, there's a troll on the Pokemon's website if they chose this screenshot. Like, the man is like planking in the middle of air. But I do enjoy the concept that you as a trainer have to dodge the Pokemon yourself. And two, that it's a boss Pokemon with the health bar. It's so weird. So this silhouette of a Pokemon, we saw in the past in these Korean leaks of this game. But we thought it should just be like a Raichu or something. Of course, there are people who speculated that it's a new Pokemon, but there's always people speculating that everything is something new. So this time, when it turned out to be something new, even though it seems near impossible that Legends Arceus would be a game where they'd introduce new Pokemon, people didn't believe it, me included, and it turns out this crap is a new Pokemon. Look at this close up of Kleavor. Looks like a really cool Pokemon. Well, now you're asking me a question, right? Which some of you may know the answer to, but what is Kleavor? You know, all this time, they haven't introduced a new Pokemon. They've introduced a new regional variant, but not a whole non-relevant new Pokemon. And then they introduced Kleavor. Now, you remember when I said that there's something about Kleavor that feels like it's Gen 1? There's a reason for this that I didn't realize when I first had those thoughts. We got Werdier, Basque Legion, and Kleavor. Kleavor is the axe Pokemon. It is Bug Rock. It's 5'11", so taller than all of you. It weighs 200 pounds. And are you ready to hear what Kleavor's true identity is? Parts of its body have turned to stone. Special minerals found in the Hisui region cause Scyther to evolve into this Pokemon. Bruh, that's a Scyther. That's a whole ass Scyther. Parts of its body have hardened into stone. The stone parts often get chipped during fierce battles, and Kleavor that have survived many battles will display larger chippings across their bodies. However, the chippings actually make these stone parts sharper, increasing their slicing power. It is said that the people of Hisui once used pieces of stone that had fallen from Kleavor to craft tools. So a little bit of lore being built there. We got our freaking swords and axes from Kleavors. But it's honestly a cool idea for a new Scyther evolution. Like, bro, this is a new Scizor cousin. Scyther, Scizor, or Scissors, and then Kleavor, like freaking meat cleavers. He's got two giant meat cleavers, like a horror game boss. This man must be slow as crap, but be strong as crap when you use him. And he's bugging rocks. He's like a more natural feeling version of Scizor, but he completely built different. But this is why he has that Gen 1 feel, because this man is Scyther's new evolution. They even kept like the punch system with Scissor's name, with Scyther's name. I want to say Pokemon never forgets. I guess Pokemon doesn't forget. Especially in the anime, they remember a lot of the jokes they made even like 20 years ago. The last thing to notice is something called Alpha Pokemon. This is when you're going through the game and you see that Electivire or the super strong Pokemon in the distance that's not supposed to be there. They're an Alpha. They got these red eyes. They're larger than normal Pokemon, and they'll chase you down if you get near them. It says they're tough opponents, but become great allies if you manage to catch them, and may drop rare items if you defeat them in battle. So it's just a little challenge for you when you're walking through these places. You might see an Alpha Pokemon, and you either keep your distance, make sure you don't die, or you go for the challenge and risk dying and having to start back all the way in Jubilee Village. Here's another example. There's a Honchkrow here, but it looks like we're kind of high in the air, so maybe this is Alpha Pokemon you find in the sky when you're on the Braviary. But that is everything in Pokemon Legends Arceus, and it is kind of cool. Obviously, Pokemon is just weird with these trailers. I mean, they're showing some cool stuff, but it isn't enough jam-packed news to be an actual trailer. Not that there needs to be so much always revealed, but this is the freaking second trailer since it was announced in freaking February, and it's September right now. And the game's come out in 4 months. We're gonna have like 3 more trailers like this before Legends Arceus comes out, and probably 1 or 2 more BDSP trailers. But yeah, knowing that Kleavor is Scyther's new evolution just makes a lot of this right. I enjoy that. And you know, we at least got some stuff that's guaranteed. Even if they want to pull a there's only 5 new forms crap, at least we got Hisuian Arcanine coming and some weird ass Basculin we can look at as well. But I feel like there's gonna be a few more forms than that. And then the last thing obviously that I have to make a video in the future about is the fact that these Pokemon probably can be transferred to BDSP. I'm pretty sure you're gonna find a way to get this Kleavor in BDSP once Legends Arceus comes out. So that's some exciting stuff as well. These are not just for Legends Arceus, these should be whole new ass Pokemon. Well, that's it guys. Shank that like button. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.
This the sound of my alchemy, the greatest success for all those who fell for me. I always respect the friends who wish well for me, and live until the end and die, all time will tell for me. But I ain't going anywhere, believe me.